Welcome back to Little Paws Homestead. As you can see behind me, we have set up a little mini greenhouse for inside the house. And we also installed the one grow light. We will be getting others for the other shelves, but for now we're just starting with the one. This greenhouse is really nice because it has this handy door which lets us cover it and close it so that the cats can't get into it. Between going to MI Gardener this past week and getting this greenhouse set up, I'm itching to plant some stuff, but we live in zone 6, so I can't really plant my outdoor starts, like my early frost tolerant stuff. I can't start planting until March indoors, so I figured I would start some indoor planting experiments and see what we could potentially grow all winter long so we have some fresh food growing inside the house. So we're gonna go get that started. Hi, Patch. You on the double bed? Oh, hi. Oh, hi, buddy. So all of the supplies for doing this indoor planting experiment, minus obviously the seeds, came from the dollar store. So in these containers, which I have poked holes in the bottom, I'm going to try the salad mix, the stir fry mix, the spinach, and these little tiny bok choy, which claim to be bite size, and they only need to be planted like 3 inches apart. So I figured we would try these and see if I could manage to grow them indoors. This is the stir fry mix that we're going to try. We eat a lot more cooked greens than we do fresh ones, so I figured this was a good way to go. We eat a lot of spinach, like especially in omelets, so we're gonna do some spinach and then this salad bowl mix. And we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I have to do is fill these containers with soil. And so they're going to go into this black tray, which I also got at the dollar store. It fits 4, which will make it easy to take out of the mini greenhouse and water it, and will also stop it from draining water all over the floor. So we'll start with that. And I did wet this soil because bagged soil tends to be super dry. This is just a standard potting mix. It might be a little bit wet, so we're going to add some of the drier soil from the bottom of the bag into it and then mix it all up. So now that these are all filled with soil, I'm going to get my seeds in them. Each container is going to be like one type of seed. So we'll start with the salad bowl mix, which needs to be planted only about 1/4 inch deep. So it's going to be just like a put them on the surface after I rough up the soil, and that'll be deep enough. So these seeds are tiny. And as you can see, there is a bunch of different kinds of things in there. So the way I plant lettuce mixes is always just kind of, I plant it all over the place, and then I will thin them as needed. That's good for this one. I just need to get all of these little seeds covered. We don't want them covered too much because we want to make sure that they still have enough energy after they germinate to sprout through the surface. So next is spinach, and these seeds are very similar. They just need to be not very far beneath the surface. And I do the exact same thing with spinach. I just kind of sprinkle the seeds all over, and then I will thin them as they germinate and start to sprout. So next we have this stir fry mix. And it has a planting depth similar to the others of 1/4 inch deep. With a mix of super tiny seeds. So disrupt the soil a little bit. Plant my seeds this way, plant them on this side, and then cover everything up. So this tiny bok choy is slightly different because you do want, like, they're going to be individual plants as opposed to the other things I planted where I'm just harvesting leaves. So these ones want to be 3 inches apart. So we're only going to plant 2 plants in here and see how it goes. So right in the middle, again, not very deep. And I'm going to plant 2 seeds in each hole, and then I will thin the weaker plant out. These ones are also some super tiny seeds, but we're still only going to plant 2. So the last thing that we're going to do with these, because our house is not super humid, it's not humid at all in the winter, I'm going to put these lids on that came with these containers. I'm just going to place them on because that will help keep the humidity in, which will help with germination. So that's that done. We'll see how it goes, and I will keep you guys updated. This is just going to go back into the greenhouse without the light. It doesn't need the light until it germinates, and we'll see how it goes. So the next thing I want to plant today is some herbs. I am picking up a little windowsill greenhouse at IKEA when we go this weekend. Everything, all plants in the house need to be covered because our cat really likes to eat all plants that he can find. And so these will be going in there once they've germinated. So I picked up these tiny little pots, which I've already filled with soil. At the dollar store, they came like 3 to a pack for $1.25. They weren't very expensive, and they fit perfectly in these little mugs. So they're just going to go in like that, which will allow for drainage and water not to go everywhere, and they'll just look really cute on the windowsill. So I have 3 of those. And in them, we are going to plant dark opal basil, oregano, and some sage. So these are the things that we kind of can cook with a lot, which is why we want to have them fresh and available all year round. So for the basil, it does not need to go in very deep, and so we're going to put these plants right in the middle of the pot, and I'm going to do the same thing. They're already stuck, so you can see there's seeds right there, which makes it nice and easy to get them out. So we're just going to make like a little dip in the middle of the pot, put a couple seeds in, and then cover them up. And then once those germinate and start to sprout, I will thin the less healthy ones. So next will be oregano, and this oregano I planted last year, and as you can see with the tape. So these just want like a surface sow. These seeds, if you can see them, I don't know if you're gonna be able to, are even tinier than anything else we've been planting. But same thing, they're just gonna go right on the surface and stick everywhere. And then we will try and like keep one healthy plant in this little cup, because this little cup is not gonna be able to sustain much more than that. Next, and the last thing that we're planting is sage. So it also will just not go in very deep. So we're going to open this one up. These seeds are actually quite a bit bigger. So we're still going to plant 2 in the same kind of general area, and then pick the strongest plant once everything germinates. So I am going to put lids on top of these as well, or possibly mason jars. I haven't quite decided. I have some jars over here. So let's try that first. Those just aren't quite big enough. Those are kind of top heavy, so fairly giant. So I'm probably just going to grab a couple of these lids and put one over top of each cup, like that, to help with humidity and to help with germination. Even before we went to the M.I. Gardener storefront, I had the planting bug and I already had a bunch of seeds from them, so I got this pot here and filled it up with basil, and then I put this little basil in it. So this is a globe basil with tiny leaves, and it only gets to be about 4 to 6 inches, so it will be perfect for keeping basil in the house all year round. So that's it for me today. It's snowing outside, and it was super nice to be able to get my fingers in the dirt and get some things planted. I'll keep you all up to date with how these things do with being planted and grown indoors, because we do not have any intention of putting them outside. It's not going to be warm for quite a while, so these will already have quite the head start and be growing for us indoors already. If you like what you saw today and want to be able to follow along with all the things we're going to get up to this spring once the world thaws out a little bit, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so that you can know every time we post a video. See you on the next one.